DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are joined by the radio voice of the Utah State Aggies and our former producer and all-around fabulous guy,
producer.
Scotty G.
Jeez.
Scotty.
That was a while ago.
Scotty's not
20 years.
half the man that he was.
That's true, too. Scotty, so we've known each other like 20 years from when you produced the show,
Yeah.
right?
Actually,
or
about
more.
a third.
Oh,
Yeah.
2. So
No, I was
when did you
05.
05 when you jumped over?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
you're
no,
right,
when
you're
I
right.
came to the station was like 03, 04, around
Okay.
there.
All right.
My first
So
football season was the 04 season.
We've known you more than 20 years.
Yes.
Have you ever been
Long time.
this pumped up about an Aggie basketball team? And if so, was it the Sam Merrill team?
Yes.
That's the only one, though?
Yeah, the Sam Merrill, Nemish Keita team. But even that team wasn't great in the regular season. You know, they were dealing with the injuries, and they kind of limped into the tournament and ended up, winning that game, and then COVID shut it down. But I haven't seen a regular season quite like this. This team is humming along nicely.
23-3.
Yeah.
And really only that UNLV debacle at home where you're like, woulda, coulda, shoulda, like that one back.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Grand Canyon on the road. But Grand Canyon's a good team. I mean, they just went into Viejas. Yeah.
Yes,
you're not taking ownership of Grand Canyon.
100% he is.
Oh, get out of
I
here.
got a degree.
He got a TG certificate there. He is totally taking that. Oh, yeah. I mean, seriously.
I've walked the halls of Grand Canyon.
When they moved to when the now moved, it's about time we got to the Mountain West and got some real competition. Oh, he's tried to stuff on
I would
Grand
prop
Canyon
up Dominguez Hills more than Grand Canyon.
I didn't go to Dominguez Hills.
But your wife did, which Scotty didn't know when he trashed Cal State Dominguez Hills. Driving by some freeway exit.
She's never forgiven him.
Yeah,
I don't blame
This
her.
dude doesn't even have a master's. What the crap would he know?
And I mean, if you dig down deep enough, the Bachelor is still a little iffy.
Oh, yours?
No, I think we're good.
It doesn't
All right,
matter.
well, here's my thought. That they're going to win the regular season. We'll see what happens in the conference tournament. I don't think they need to win it to get there.
No.
They may win it, they may not win it, and they'll be competitive, and maybe they'll lose a close game or something. Who knows? Then they'll go to the NCAA tournament, and they have an excellent chance to win their first game, and then they'll lose their second game, and then we'll see what Jared Calhoun wants to do. So with all that in mind, you spent the better part of Tuesday, because we're off Monday, telling me that dunk at the end of the Memphis game really mattered.
See, all morning long, I was like, okay, what weird angle is PK going to take me?
We know how the story's going to end.
I knew.
But yet you told me that dunk, oh my gosh,
I knew it.
that changed the axis of the earth and how it rotates.
I love this
Talk
so much.
talk about a power dribble.
I mean,
so
come
much.
on. That dunk, you spent 3 hours justifying that dunk.
Yeah. Well,
and
about an hour and a
They're
half.
going to win the conference.
Not the half.
They're going to go and maybe win the conference tournament. Again, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect their seed that much. They're very good chance to win the first round game.
Yes.
Lose in the second round.
Yeah.
And then we got to hold our breath with Calhoun because he's going to get a multitude of offers.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be like Sprinkle where he's literally negotiating with Washington in Vegas while the tournament's going on. I'm not saying Calhoun would do that. Life is different now. And with all that in mind, somehow that dunk against Memphis changed everything.
So let me peel the onion back here a little bit because I want to know what you really think.
I just told you what I really think.
You'll never know.
Was it classless?
The light is on. The
I
light is
wouldn't have
on.
done
You'll
it.
never know.
I wouldn't have done it.
Can I-
It's an unwritten rule.
Yeah.
I understand.
All three of them or just the third one?
The last one.
The last
Okay.
one. Okay.
Literally the last
Yeah.
one.
There were three. If you didn't see it, they're like
There
3
were
and
three
45
of them.
No,
seconds.
I'm talking about the last one.
Okay, yeah.
This
the
is
last ones were
literally
10
the
seconds.
last one.
All right.
Hardaway played in the NBA.
Yes.
And injuries derailed his career. He was very good.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
obviously he got injuries, cut him at the knees, basically. And you don't do that. So he's coming at it from an NBA perspective. And so he sees that, and he played North Texas on Thursday, has to fly all the way to friggin' Logan, Utah to get his butt kicked. They aren't very good this year. And, yeah, I understand exactly where he's coming from. You didn't need to have that dunk, and I don't care what curling boy Ken Palm says, that dunk didn't change anything and will not change anything. They'll lose in the second round, and then we'll see what happens with Calhoun, whether he comes back or not, and away we go. That dunk was meaningless, but you two spent the whole time telling me that it's going to change everything. You needed that. Oh, the way the game is, and the analytics today, and blah blah. Oh, give me a bleep and break. Come on.
You good?
I'm even better.
I bet you are. Curling boy? We're taking personal shots at Ken Pomeroy.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I have not seen Ken that excited as when I asked him about curling.
Yeah.
That dude lit up like a Christmas tree.
Right.
He was extremely excited about that. Okay, by the way.
We'll nail him next week or two.
I will.
On that.
So Spencer Nelson, sitting next to me doing color, could not talk. He was so angry about that.
He did not like the third dunk at all.
He
Actually, he was down.
He didn't like the second, and he definitely didn't like the third.
Yeah.
And because they could have ran out the clock on the second, and then there's the third dunk, and he went quiet. Now he doesn't talk a lot anyway, but he's like, I can't talk about this. I'm so mad because he's of the Stu Morrill, tree where you don't do that stuff. You don't rub people's noses in it,
or at least lay it in.
Here's the thing, Jared Calhoun.
That right there, important distinction.
Yeah, the windmill.
Which asking a kid with all the adrenaline in the arena's going nuts, I get why he threw it down. I get it, but honestly, it would have felt different if he'd laid it in.
But I'm looking over at Calhoun, and Calhoun's giving the signal like, let's go. Let's go. And so, I mean, he looks at his coach. His coach gives him the green light, so he's like, I'm going to put on a show here.
Oh, I don't blame the kid.
Oh, no, I don't blame him at all. And frankly, I don't, Calhoun, that's just his DNA. I think that he's using the analytics, but I think deep down the dude is just he wants to cut throats. I have not seen a coach that cold-blooded in a long time. Now, the analytics, I agree. Is 2 points going to matter? Is 4 points going to matter? Not really.
Yeah,
who cares if somebody won a game by 18 or by 24?
Okay, Crow.
I don't know.
But
Tuesday, that's what they told me.
No, I know.
It mattered.
I know what Ken. But come
that's
on, you
what
and
it
I
told me.
But you and I don't.
Curling boy told me it'll make a difference.
But you and I don't look at scores and think, oh, they only won by 18, not by 24. They're not really that good. There's a difference between winning by 1 and winning by 10, for sure.
Yeah.
But once you start winning by 20,
you want to win by 9, not by 2. I understand.
I don't know if I'd take the risk to lose the 2.
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference there.
Yeah, if you could run the ball down the field,
which they were doing,
with Luke Staley, 18 yards at a time, I'm all about it.
Yeah, but Matt Berry, let's. Was that Beck?
That was Beck.
Oh, it was Beck.
It was a freshman quarterback in his own end of the field.
Yeah, I remember at Stanford, right?
Set a historically programmed low with only 25 passing yards.
There's definitely something to be said to have the offense put the game away so the defense can't blow it because they make it a 2-score game.
So you're saying that Calhoun wants to be aggressive, and I'm supposed to believe, and then
Ken Pomeroy green lights it.
Yeah.
Well, and then he. This is where I really get cynical. This is where my East Coast comes in. That it's going to look good for the selection committee. I call BS. It's going to look good on the Big 12 and Big 10 job openings.
Look at you. I beat Memphis by 24 instead of 20.
Along with this, and this.
Is okay. So
if he goes to the Sweet 16, my gosh, he's going to have. Take your pick.
I don't want to channel.
That's a heck of a coach.
I don't want to channel Phoenix PK. I want to channel New Jersey PK. Because that's who he is. Like he is. I want to go Temple of Doom, rip out your heart, and show it to you. He's that kind of mentality.
But I don't want to hear that it's because of the analytics this season. It's to make himself look good for future jobs. Get out of town.
I think it's to embarrass a coach and embarrass a program.
And to make himself look good.
To make his team look good. And his byproduct of it, is going to be some opportunities down the line. Yeah.
He should.
Yeah.
I support it 100%.
Hey.
I think he's a great coach. I told you the other day when you had me on, of all the guys that have come through since Stu, he's the best.
From an X's and O standpoint, it's not even close, honestly.
Well, what other standpoint where is someone else better? Because I think aside from X's and O's, his attention to detail. Like I fully believe he already knew Ken Palm's answer. He wasn't guessing. He knew because he had conversations. Anyone who's so detail-oriented that he comes into town and wants to meet with a politician and a church leader, like, tell me what it's like here. Tell me what the standards are. Tell me what I need to know so I and my team can be successful.
He met with the Archbishop?
He met with a bishop, but not the Archbishop.
The Archbishop of Cache County. Okay. That's in Godfather 4. We'll explain that in the next Godfather. So,
does that even exist?
Godfather 4?
Yeah.
No, they shut it down after 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Goodfellas.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which was better than 3.
But the guy is super detail-oriented.
So. Yeah, it's super detail-oriented.
And the fundraising he talked to us about and all that. But you're right. He was if he was born in Ohio and grew up and played, I think, in Ohio in college and all that. But he must have a grandparent from Jersey.
And he's of the perspective of he plays a little bit of mind games with his players, and he treats them like I think
Templin for sure, right?
From a motivation standpoint, he pulls all the right strings, and the players sometimes team up and absolutely can't stand the guy, but they unify behind a hatred of him. And so, honestly, I think he's about as good.
Rick Majero's 101.
But I think it's been really, like, there's been, Craig Smith is Craig, and I love Craig. Craig is, like, the most personable guy on the planet. Danny Sprinkle's one of the toughest SOBs. Ryan Odom was just a savant when it comes to basketball. But you throw everything in together, and you have Jared Calhoun. And, I think wherever he's at next year, he's going to be making a lot of money and doing very good things. That guy's going to win a final. That guy's going to go to a Final Four somewhere with a team here in the near future.
Wow.
So this weekend, no big deal. Take him into Reno. Wow. Nevada's only lost 2 home games.
You like
year.
how San Jose took him behind the woodshed?
87-71.
Yeah.
Jared Calhoun is going to coach
a team into the Final Four.
Of course, he's the same one who told us that Mikhail Hillstead will be a starter by the end of his first year at BYU.
I made one. I didn't know about Bear Bachmeyer. It should have been him. It should have been McKay Hillstead. I didn't know Bear Bachmeyer was the second coming of Joe Montana. Nobody saw that coming.
Only if you listen to the morning show from June on.
Oh, stop it.
There might have been somebody who told you that Bachmeyer was going to be the starter.
Inside the program, they knew what they wanted. Yeah. They had to make him do it.
Yeah.
But they thought he would do it. They expected he would do it. And they wanted him to do it.
Okay, they wanted him to do it.
They did want him to do it.
Did they really expect him to do it?
I don't know if they expected the season to that level, but
the whole way he was going to start.
Yeah.
Bull.
That's not bull. That is not bull.
That is BS.
Back me up, DJ.
He told me that a long time ago.
KSLs.com. I only wrote 5 friggin' stories on it.
I'm not buying that.
Josh Furlong when he got him in on Friday.
No.
I told him, I'm sending you another story that says Bachmeyer is going to be the starter. And he laughed. You got him on Friday when you do your 60 and 60. Ask Josh. He'll remember the conversation.
You pull me up a link. Because I bet there was like you know what? If the stars align, it wouldn't surprise me if Bear Bachmeyer was the starter.
Because I can't give up my sources. You don't do that.
Well, you didn't say he's the starter.
They wanted him to be the starter.
I agree with that.
They thought he would be the starter. They expected him to be the starter, but they made it a competition because they had to put him under some kind of pressure to see how he would perform under pressure. You can't turn on the lights and put 65,000 people in the stadium and a quality opponent on the other sideline until you get to the season. There's no exhibition games in football. But they wanted it. They thought it. They expected it.
Okay.
But there was a chance there. If he went out and threw 2 picks the first day and 2 picks the second day and 2 picks the third day and McKay was lit up, then they would have gone the other direction. But they never thought that would happen.
So you're saying there's a chance. That's what it boiled down
That's
to.
what it is. Because they had to put him under pressure. They can't
Got me under pressure.
Sing it. All right. So are the Aggies going to win the regular season then, or share it?
Yes.
You've already got a W in Reno mentally because Nevada just lost to San Diego State and then they got blown out by San Jose.
If they beat Nevada, they'll win it. Yeah, because even if they lose to San Diego State,
they're going to win it. They
Yeah.
may win the conference tournament. They got a good chance to win the first round. They'll lose in the second round, and then we'll hold out.
That dunk was the difference between the Elite Eight and being bounced in the round of 32.
Well, if you listen to
I don't even
Tuesday's
remotely
show,
believe
you would have
that.
thought so.
You don't even remotely believe that.
Who's going to be?
Well, I didn't believe it on Tuesday either, but homeboys painted me in that corner there.
I listened.
You don't listen to Squad.
Then how did I know about Curling Boy?
Because I tweeted that out. I'm surprised you're like, well, I was in the gym and I was listening to Phoenix radio and these guys said this and this and this.
I was. Well, you don't want to know what I was doing when I was listening.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Attaboy. Good for you. Who says romance is dead?
This wasn't romance.
That was not what he was saying. I know exactly what he's saying.
I know.
You don't want to know. Yeah.
Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Aggies?
Sheesh.
McHale's.
See, that's what you want me to say. I know what you want me to do. And I'm not. They expect McKay Hillstead to be the starter.
Who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Aggies? I'm giving you an opportunity to redeem yourself.
Wow. I'll go McKay right now. And then, come August, you said emphatically McKay Hillstead is going to be the starter. And you're effing wrong.
Okay. Do you think it's McKay 60-40, 80-20, or you're 100% sure it'll be McKay?
I'll go 60-40. I think that's a fair number. There's a freshman out of Texas they really like, and that I think they assume eventually will be the starter, if not by the end of the year. But week one starter.
Where does McKay sit with all of us completely confused by transfer rules now? And him not playing. Where does McKay sit in eligibility?
Geez, your guess is I have no idea.
He's one.
The coach need to decide that.
He's one lawsuit away from another year.
Yeah, he gets a lawsuit. He's a redshirt freshman right now. I don't know.
Well, he's not a senior. So it won't be a one and done like it was with Pig Farmer.
Yeah,
Barnes.
Well, Barnes was there for 2 years.
Yeah, but
1 year as the starter. Yeah.
I meant as a starter.
Yeah.
And then that's good.
I would love, by the way, for that guy to sue and get another year. That season he put on was with one of the worst offensive lines in the history of college football.
Is his body healed yet?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants to come. The beating that guy took was just unbelievable.
I know it was, and that's why Broncos salivated. The guy just kept getting up from the 8 count every freaking game, 5 times a game.
Yeah.
And he was dynamic. It was good to see him have the success that he had because he's a real tough dude. And I think it's important for them, obviously, to shore up the offensive line and get a quarterback in there and then be big-time competitive in the first season in the Pac-12.
Yeah, agreed. And I don't see that the schedule makers didn't do him much of a favor with the home and home with Boise State.
What's that about?
I don't know.
They didn't have enough games scheduled because they're in a smaller league. There's 8 teams, so they have 7 league games, and they can't find games on this short of notice. So they're just like, well, we'll play each other because everybody else's schedule.
Everybody waits for UNLV to
pretty full.
Come on over. Then they got a balanced schedule. Then off you go.
But they don't want to?
I think they do now.
But they didn't a year ago.
No, because they were promised a lot of money, and that money's not coming through right now.
Oh, for TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and they were going to give all these buyouts that they were going to take from the teams leaving. Now the Pac-12 teams are suing, saying we're not going to give you that money, and now that money's all tied up, and UNLV's like, hey, where's our cash? So,
yeah. Well, it makes sense that they should go.
And you never want to keep money away from somebody in Vegas that you owe them, or you might lose a kneecap.
Exactly. And he's speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I've been in Vegas with him for a week at a time.
Scotty one kneecap Garrard.
Yeah. I mean, his transition.
Saul from the Tropicana doesn't mess around.
His transition from the Vegas to Utah, it was seamless.
Oh, I was looking at Jake Hatch because Jake was talking about being at the Orleans with his daughter and the cheerleading thing. I'm like, is Seamless still there?
All right, Scotty, on that note, we'll let you go.
Get
mentally prepared for that show at noon today.
Hey, you know who's coming on today? Who's our co-host today?
Who's your curling fan today?
Well, I would love to have him break down curling. The one, the only, Kevin Graham. KG for 3 hours today.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
well, you never know with him. He may have a different offer by the get to hour 3.
And he's listening right now, too. An hour and a half into the show, he's like, I'm out. Hey, Boston called.
Or Pittsburgh. Or Columbus.
What market has
Or Dallas. Or San Francisco.
Hey,
how am I doing?
Hey, can we be nice to the guy? I need to get 3 hours over
New York.
Yeah, New York.
He worked in New York.
Yeah.
Phoenix. I left out Phoenix. You're right.
San Francisco.
2. Sing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a community that is eagerly and anxiously waiting the second coming. For Graham, it'd be the fifth coming.
I'm out.
When we come back, Cole Bagley, Olympic hockey. He covers the Utah Mammoth. The women are in the gold medal game today. The men are in the semifinals tomorrow. We'll talk with Cole Bagley next right here on The Zone. DJ and PK, we are brought to you in part by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800. Visit the website at trajanwealth.com. Mm-hmm. Talked about a lot of stuff here today, PK. The NBA, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine shut down for the season. Sacramento on 12 wins has the worst record in the NBA right now, and they're missing arguably their 2 best players, or maybe not even arguably their 2 best players. Steph Curry is out for the Warriors. Ja Morant is out for 2 more weeks for the Grizzlies before he's reevaluated. Kyrie Irving is shut down for the year from an ACL that happened last year. The Jazz have 26 games left. I think it's really important that they lose 20 of them. Win 6, you sit on 24 wins. 25 is a nice round number, and I think they'd like to avoid it.
Okay.
Turns out maybe they'll get there and it'll be okay. Who knows? But I expect that they have spent weeks ago, they doped out, hey, where's everyone going to finish? Yeah, and then they go back and, there's always a few outliers, and so you can recalibrate. I can't believe they didn't do that over the All-Star break. But it's interesting to see what kind of lineups they run out here, because I don't expect much when they come back to action tomorrow night. They will be at Memphis. And I think 3 of their first 4 games are winnable. At Houston, they should lose, but 2 home games with New Orleans are winnable. And at Memphis, with no Morant and no Jaren Jackson Jr., obviously, that's a winnable game. All right, the Utah Mammoth will return to action here shortly. Cole Bagley, Utah Mammoth insider for KSL Sports, joins us now. Cole, good morning.
Good morning, fellas. How are we doing?
Good. The men's hockey is down to the semifinals. And Cole's interview is brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. Have you been surprised by anything you've seen in this tournament, or is this pretty much we're sitting right where you thought we'd be right now?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we're sitting right where everybody kind of imagined, with the United States, Canada, and Finland in the Final Four. I think Slovakia is maybe the one surprise. You look at their roster, and there's not really any NHL stars on that team. It's a lot of, third and fourth line guys. It's, minimum contract guys. It's guys that are being scratched or on waivers. And so I think they've surprised some people, but, their path was a little bit easier. But now the United States will have an opportunity to play Slovakia. It's a team they need to take seriously. There's no night off in the Olympics. It can, swallow you alive, just as we've seen it do to some teams. So I'd say that's the only surprise. But, with those 3 teams, U.S., Finland, and Canada in the semifinals, I think things are shaping out the way that most people expected them to.
Okay, you say you got to take them seriously, but I'm still thinking that you think that they're going to win. So with that in mind, assuming, and when it's just for radio's sake here and the sake of discussion, that they win. I know it's not an assumption, but we'll go on that line of thought. Who do you think they would play in the final, and then who do you dope that out in terms of what you think the odds would be?
Yeah, I mean, we're on a collision course for the United States and Canada in the gold medal game, and that's what everybody wants, right? The 2 best squads in the world with, arguably all-star lineups, from top to bottom. Every single line is a line that can make you pay. And so I would say that I'd be surprised if that's not what it is. I do think that Canada is going to have a little bit tougher time facing off against Finland. They've got a pretty good lineup as well. They've got a few stars on their team and, guys like Mikko Rantanen and what have you. So I'd say that Canada has drawn the tougher semifinal as opposed to the United States. But, as I said before, it's the Olympics, right? You have one bad period, you have one bad shift, and suddenly you're trailing by a goal or 2, and all of a sudden, you're done. Your Olympics are over. I mean, for the 4 teams remaining, all of them will at least compete for a medal when all is said and done. But, it's gold or bust for the United States. It's gold or bust for Team Canada. So both these teams will definitely have, a lot of work to do and a good challenge if they want to meet in the final.
Semifinals Friday afternoon, 1:00. A lot of people are going to be watching. And Will they see Keller play? He's played a little bit in 2 games, but not a lot, and he sat completely in the first 2 games. What are your expectations for what kind of ice time he might see here in the last 2 games in the semi, and whether it's the gold or bronze game?
Yeah, yesterday was tough for Keller. He had a really good game when he finally entered the lineup against Germany. He played his game, a game that a lot of Mammoth fans are very familiar with. He's a very good facilitator. He plays with speed. He's confident on the puck. He battles in the dirty areas. So that earned him a spot in yesterday's game against Sweden. But unfortunately, he only took 6 shifts. He played a team low 4 minutes and 44 seconds, and I don't think he saw any ice time after his initial shift in the second period. And so through most of the second and then all of the third, and then, of course, in the overtime, Keller didn't touch the ice. I'd assume that there was something the coaching staff wasn't necessarily pleased with and decided to bench him for the rest of the game. So, I'm not entirely sure. It is tough to say right now. It's obviously, that spot is up for grabs between him and Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor played the first 2 games for the United States. He did not play well, so they gave Keller a chance. He did play really well against Germany, but then yesterday, must have just done something that the coaches didn't like. So I'd say it's up in the air for right now. But if he does play, I would expect, short minutes, probably, less than 10, at most 12. That just kind of seems to be what they're doing with some of those guys like that. So, yeah, we'll see how things shape out. If they skate tomorrow before the game and we see some lines, and if not, it'll be, game time before we know if he's going in or not.
Well, we saw that he used some slights as motivations in the past. Do you think he does it again?
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure. I don't know if you guys saw, Sam Farnsworth interviewed Keller right after the game yesterday and, was asking him questions about Quinn Hughes' overtime winner and, just his reaction and, in his demeanor and the way he kind of carried himself, you could tell that he was disappointed, obviously thrilled with the result, but disappointed in himself. Just his tone and, kind of his body language. Keller's a really competitive guy. He's one of the most competitive athletes I've ever been around. And I'm sure that he's, just eating himself, with the way that he played. So, yeah, I think that if he gets an opportunity to play again, I would expect him to come out with juice, to come out with energy and to, put forth a really good effort.
What about the other 3 guys who represent the Mammoth and were representing their different countries? What do you think of the way they've performed? What's their Olympic experience been like?
Yeah, for Karel Vejmelka, it was interesting. He didn't touch Olympic ice. He actually only dressed for one of the games, and he was a backup, and they never called his number. So Vejmelka didn't play in the Olympics, which was pretty surprising, especially the way that the tournament went for Czechia. Obviously, they pushed Canada to the brink. Yesterday, forced overtime. Dostal, who was their starting goaltender, played really, really well. But, you have to imagine that if they would have given Vejmelka some minutes in the preliminary rounds, they may have had better seeding and not have been forced to go through Canada to try to get on to, further in the tournament. So that one's interesting. I'm not entirely sure why they benched him. He definitely, at a minimum, was the second best goaltender, if not, should have been the number 1 option based on how he's played over the last 6 to 8 weeks. So that was surprising. In terms of J.J. Peterka, I think he had a good tournament. I think he scored a goal, had a couple assists. It was, just a good opportunity. Germany wasn't as deep as some of these other teams, so he was playing in the top 6 and, playing along a guy like Leon Draisaitl, who's, an MVP candidate every season. Just good experience for him. He played a lot of minutes, averaged, I think, between 24 and 26. So a lot of positives for Peterka. Ole Mata, it's been a good opportunity to play, right? I mean, he's been a healthy scratch for the Mammoth for a few months now. And, so for him to be able to play hockey, to play it at a high level, he hasn't played a ton of minutes either. I think he's averaging about 9, 10, 11. But, his team has an opportunity to play for a medal. They'll face Canada, and I would assume that, we'll see a little bit of Ole Mata. So overall, I think a good tournament for the Mammoth. Good amount of playing time, but obviously it's not a bad thing for Mammoth fans that Vejmelka got to rest. He didn't risk injury. He should be fully ready to go when he comes back. And then for these other guys, a good amount of minutes and an opportunity to play hockey at a really high level while avoiding injury.
You know the Mammoth schedule then going forward? Not when the games. I'm talking about between now and when this season resumes.
Yeah, so they're skating. They've been skating. They skated the last 2 days. They've got practice here in about hour 45 minutes. So yeah, it's kind of like a mini training camp right now. Guys are starting to make their way back. Anybody who was not at the Olympics had to report 2 days ago. And then as guys fall out of the Olympic tournament, they'll start to make their way back. So there's a chance that we may see JJ Peterka today. And if not today, probably Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, they're just trying to get back in the swing of things. Long practices. The last 2 days they practiced about 2 hours. And they're just trying to get guys, kind of back into skating shape, and then going through, some of their offensive schemes. They did a lot of power play yesterday. So yeah, it's like I said, kind of a mini training camp between now and when they resume next week. The
Kings are the team that suffered the major injury in the Olympic tournament, and they are battling the Mammoth in the wild card race. They're trailing. They're down 4 points. How badly are they hurt by that?
Yeah, it's a valuable defenseman, to lose to injury for the rest of the year. It's next man up mentality, on every roster. And, the Kings also got an upgrade via trade right before the Olympics in acquiring one of the best goal scorers in the league in Panarin. So I don't know that it'll really hurt them that much. Of course, you're not going to necessarily replace that guy, talent for talent. But, I would expect that, all the teams that are in the wild card race in the West, it is going to be a dogfight right down, I think, to the very last day of the regular season. I mean, there's 6-7 teams that are all within about 7 or 8 points. So, for Utah, it's just about getting back to consistency. And I talked with Ian Cole yesterday and asked him, Ian Cole is one of the best veterans on the team. He's won 2 Stanley Cups. He's been in the league for almost 2 decades. And he just said that right now it's all about helping everyone on the team understand what playoff intensity is and that they need to play with that kind of intensity, starting next week. And he said that, look, we even had that discussion before the Olympics, helping guys understand the mentality we need to have. So, regardless of, what's going on with their opponents, Utah just needs to stay focused and, play their game.
U.S. and Canadian women, they start in about an hour and a half here. You got U.S. winning the gold medal game?
Yeah, I mean, they should, right? They set an Olympic record in the semifinal, posting 5 straight shutouts. They've outscored their opponents 31-1 over the course of the tournament. They haven't allowed a goal since before the opening ceremonies. They just absolutely dominated the Canadians about a week ago, 5-0. So, yeah, the United States is definitely the gold favorites. It would take, I think, a perfect effort from Canada to pull off the upset. So, yeah, I'm expecting gold for the women.
He's Cole Bagley. You can read him at KSLSports.com, and you can follow him on social media, and you can hear him here once a week talking hockey with DJ and PK. Cole, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week when the NHL's going at it again.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
There's Cole Bagley, DJ and PK. Your feedback next. Stay with us. We are brought to you by University of Utah Health. At University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
Uh-oh. I got feedback.
You've got feedback.
Not the feedback you are anticipating.
All right. What do you have?
You can see at the top of the message there where
So we had Scotty G in earlier in the show, and then he brought up that he's going to be co-hosting with Kevin Graham today from noon to 3.
Yes.
Kevin will be doing it. Technology now allows us to do radio from Charlotte. No problem. And so then we were talking about him coming back.
If they let you.
Yeah, of course, obviously. And that... and then, of course, we started recounting. You referred to Kevin, people waiting for the second coming here in Utah, but for Kevin, it'd be the 5th. Honestly, I think it'd be the 4th, but, maybe I lost count. And then on top of that, then we recounted all the cities that he has worked in, and he texted you. I don't think he texted me.
Because I was leading.
Because you dropped the second coming line. That's the one that got him. And you are so funny.
And I said that he's scheduled to do the 3 hours unless in the third hour he gets a better offer.
Oh, that was nice. But I'll bet when he sent that, it was the second coming line that did it. That was That was the crescendo right there. The band played for the whole segment, but that was the high note.
Kevin's really good in radio, man. That's a fact. There's no doubt about it. I wish he would have been here all these years.
100%. He's very good at radio. He's very good at management, but he's also good on the air. I mean, we have him on every week for a reason.
He's excellent.
I mean, we like him and all that, but he's good. There's a lot of people we like, and we don't have him on every week.
Right.
Sacramento's Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis are both having, hi Kevin, bye Kevin, are both having season-ending surgery. What will the Jazz do? Brandon, I'm not sure PK realizes the NBA will ultimately punish the Jazz for tanking by giving them the lowest possible pick. The 8th overall pick is not likely to be a game changer, hardly worth 4 years of tanking, the fines, and compromising the integrity of the team.
That really blows out the integrity of the league. The league then, if the Jazz go ahead and only win 6 games, keep the pick, that'll be a significant storyline because as far as I know, and back me up if I'm right or wrong here, the fine that was levied against them was the largest for tanking. So that means if they keep the pick, that'll be a storyline. So the league will be under big-time scrutiny to make sure that it's legitimate more than ever.
And the league hates the conspiracy theory that was out there. A story yesterday, we referenced it, but it's not our story, but it's out there on social media. 2 unnamed NBA people believe that Cooper flagged Dallas was fixed. It's a big market. Interest was going to flag there with new ownership. Cuban wasn't there to sell tickets and lead the circus, and everyone was just disgusted with the Luka Doncic trade. I mean, they were angry. They were like the franchise moved kind of angry. You know, the way people in Cleveland and Seattle have been moved.
I wanted to do away with the franchise. They got the ultra big flag. We're going to get the ultra big Dobonsa. I think of all the years, they can't mess around this year.
If the Jazz stay where they are, there's like a 90, I think it's a 96% chance. Didn't you say 96, Ben? Yeah, Ben, he's nodding. Yes, 96. If they stay where they are, sixth worst record, there's a 96% chance they keep the pick. I mean, they could move top 4. They could also slide back to 7-8. There's actually be no mathematical way to draft 5th again.
There's a 1.5% chance for Flagg to go to Dallas, and he did.
Yep. And there's still a 3-point whatever chance for them to slide back to 9th and lose the pick if they're 6th.
That won't happen.
I wouldn't think so.
They'll move up. AJ's coming.
Jake and Ben are coming. They are up next. And then Kevin Graham is here at noon. Bye, Kevin. Bye, y'all. See you later. Jake and Ben are next.